Central Park development is one of the City of Sydney's largest urban renewal projects. What was formerly an industrial complex is now well on the way to being a vibrant, mixed-use community that has to date won more than 20 national and international awards, including the prestigious Best Tall Building worldwide. By critically examining the planning and development process and applying what is learned, we can work together towards achieving similar results on future projects. What is Council's role in the approval process? For projects of this magnitude, Council acts in an advisory role since it only holds 3 out of 7 seats on the Central Sydney Planning Committee, which is the consent authority for all development over 50 million in value. With that considered, what about the planning and development process was successful and where can we improve? Let's begin by looking at 4 key community and council concerns by which to judge the process and make recommendations. Those being density, heritage, sustainability and open space. The existing planning controls with a high floor space ratio and comparatively low height restrictions cause concern, and as the Lord Mayor at the time put it, will make Soviet Moscow look friendly. Another concern was how the traffic generated would impact the neighbourhood. After commissioning an independent analysis of the constraints, Council approved a floor space ratio of 3.5 to 1 and reduced car parking provisions to 0.57 spaces in its draft LEP. This, however, was subsequently rejected by the CSPC. Approved floor space ratio for the modified concept plan was approximately 4.4 to 1, but overall parks were reduced from a potential of 2,440 spaces to 2,000, by the developer deciding to decrease the residential mix. Council considers build form as a success, and helping to draft the brief for the design competition was part of their contribution to this outcome. Council will continue to work to achieve superior design outcomes and appropriate density. Council worked with the developer to create a comprehensive conservation management plan in consultation with the New South Wales Heritage Council. This was later adopted by Frasers and resulted in the retention and adaptive reuse of 33 heritage items identified as having exceptional, high and moderate significance. This concern was successfully addressed, and Council will continue to work closely with the community to identify and retain these elements in the future. So paramount were the concerns around sustainability that a lawsuit was lodged by local residents against the state government and minister after the project was called in. But the concept plan modifications sought by Frasers embodied leading practices in sustainable development, as they aim for 6-star green ratings on new buildings and 5-star on existing, including heritage. These modifications included one of the world's largest vertical gardens, a tri-generation plant, and a water treatment factory, surpassing both the expectations of Council and the community. Furthermore, it was implemented in a cost-effective way, displaying the commercial viability for other projects. The developer was largely responsible for this outcome, but Council could explore ways to encourage highly sustainable development on projects for which they are the decision authority, using discounts to fees or other incentives. Council and the community were concerned about when the new public park of 5,000 square metres would be built, as well as overshadowing from the buildings to the north. Council had worked to achieve this, but once more it was the developer that provided an answer to both of these concerns. In seeking changes to the approved concept plans, they proposed a park 25% larger and adjoining publicly accessible piazza of approximately 4,000 square metres. Then, to address overshadowing, they proposed a heliostat, an array of mirrors and a residential first that would reflect sunlight into the space. The end result would be met with praise from the community. Council recommends ensuring that for future developments, the creation of public space is timely and has superior amenity as displayed in this development. So far, the planning process has been shown to be relatively effective, but was it efficient? And how did community consultation have an effect on the final development? It took almost 4 years from the Carlton United Brewery's announcement that a developer held options on the site until concept plan approval, then a further 20 months after Frasers purchased the site until they received approval for modifications to the concept plans. Furthermore, Council estimated at least $500,000 was spent on studies, design reviews, consultants and staff time before the Minister's intervention. It could be argued that the Central Sydney Local Environment Plan from 1996 should have addressed the site in greater detail to save planning time down the track. Council will therefore endeavour to develop planning controls on such sites sooner, while seeking to reduce the time and expenditure overlap between decision authorities. Although Council regularly consulted with the community throughout the process, one community group summed up general community sentiment saying, "Despite extensive input, community feedback is noted but ignored." Furthermore, after the minister called in the project, his decision was final with no capacity to appeal. Essentially, the community felt the decision authorities needed to work harder to resolve community concerns. All that considered, many community members and key media commentators such as Elizabeth Varelli, who were rightly critical of the process, were ultimately won over. The resulting development has charmed even the residents of surrounding low-rise neighbourhoods and their representative politicians. Council will work to engage the community early in the process and have a more open discussion where concerns are resolved. Let's end by summarising Council's recommendations on how to better resolve community concerns. Encouraging design excellence through the use of design competitions while continuing to argue for appropriate density. The continued work to preserve heritage items of significance. Exploring the use of incentives to encourage highly sustainable outcomes. Having a more open discussion and transparent process with the community that seeks to resolve concerns. Ensuring public open space is adequate and has good amenity. Identifying and setting controls for key sites sooner while seeking to reduce the overlap between decision authorities.